Hi guys. This is a math video for lesson 114. All right. Monday, you all should have done the math facts for lesson 114. Okay. Today, we are working on this worksheet. All right. So if you don't already have this one out, grab it. Pause the video and go grab it. All right. If you do have it out, make sure you have a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, you pause the video and grab it. And you're going to need some little something. So you could have pennies, you could have little Legos, little pieces of paper, little Barbie shoes, whatever. You just need like a handful of them, like 10 of them. Okay? If you don't have those yet, pause the video and go find them. All right? So once we're here. All right? All right. So you guys should have your worksheet. You should have a pencil, and you should have about 10 of something little that you can count. Okay? All right, so you've got your worksheet, and you see some of these math facts here. Okay? They're written up and down, and they're written from side to side. Okay? But if you're looking, you'll see that there is something strange about them a little bit. There are three numbers. Okay? All right, so far we have done math problems with two numbers that we are adding together or subtracting. These have three. Okay, now that might sound a little bit intimidating, but don't be intimidated by that. Okay, because I'm going to tell you how to do it. Because if you can add two numbers, you can add three numbers. Okay, all right, so you've got your worksheet. You're going to lay it on the table in front of you, okay? And for right now, we're just looking at the middle, all right? So don't worry about these math problems, okay? You're just looking at those circles in the middle, all right? So go ahead and sprinkle whatever you got to count on there, all right? So to start out, you need 8, okay? So 8 of whatever you got out, all right? All right, so any others that you got out, pennies, barrettes, whatever, put them aside. So you need 8. All right. So I want you to put some of them in each of the three circles. So put a few in here, a few in here, and a few in here. Okay. But you have a total of 8. All right. So you look at it, see what you got. All right. So because you can't tell me what you got, I'm going to go through some possible answers. Okay. So if you have 8, all right, you have, I'll hold up fingers. All right. So we have 8, right? All right, so in that first box, let's say you put 2, okay? And the second box, let's say you put 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. All right? And in that last one, you put 3. All right, so we've got 2, 3, and 3. All right, so that's a possible 2 plus 3, okay? I have 3, and I add 2, I get 5. And 3 more is 8. Okay, so if you break it down, you can look at it, you can add 2 of the numbers together and then add your answer to that third number, or you can look at it this way, okay? Now, change your items around in your circles. You still have 8 pennies or whatever it is you're using, okay? You're gonna mix them around, okay? So let's say you have 4 in that first one, okay? And you put 2 in the second one, all right? How many do you have in that last one then? Should be 2, all right, if you've got 8, all right? So that time you had 4, 2, and 2, all right? So there are different numbers that can equal up to 8, different orders of 3, just like when we learned the sums of 10, okay? If you want to put 10 of whatever you're counting on the board now, okay? And we'll compare it to your sums of 10. All right, so you've got 10 items, so you should have added 2 to what you were doing because we were doing 8, now we're going to do 10. Okay, so you're still looking at these circles. Okay, don't worry about the math problems yet. Just these circles. Okay, all right, so on there you've got 10 pennies or little crumpled up pieces of paper, whatever you're counting. All right. So if you remember our sums of 10, we have 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, 3 plus 7, 6 plus 4, 5 plus 5, and of course 0 plus 9. Okay. So all of those you can do. Okay. So let's look at 6 plus 4. Okay. All right. So 6 plus 4, you guys know, equals 10, right? All right. So 6 plus 4 equals 10. All right. What are two numbers you can add together to get 6? Think about that for a minute. All right. 3 plus 3 is 6, right? All right. So you know that 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, so go ahead and put 4 of whatever you're counting in the top circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Okay. All right, so now you've got 6, right, that you need to share between these two. So what two numbers can you add together to get 6? 3 plus 3, right? All right, so you can put 3 here and 3 here. There are a lot of other numbers that you can add together to get 6. 1 plus 5, 4 plus 2, 3 plus 3. Okay, but for the purposes of making it kind of simple, you know 3 plus 3 equals 6 because you know your doubles. All right, so 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, you know that. And you know that 3 plus 3 is 6. So 4 plus 3 plus 3 also equals 10. Okay, so you can add the two numbers together and then add that to your answer, or you can look at it that way, like it's broken down and that they're all a piece of the bigger number. All right, so let's look at A. All right, so here's A. Okay, so you got to turn your paper like this. All right, so let's have a look at these numbers. All right, so we have 3 plus 2 plus 2. All right, so go ahead and put 3, whatever you're counting, here, 2 in here, and 2 in here. Okay, so I grab 2 pennies, pieces of paper, whatever you're counting, 1, 2, 3, then put 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you should have 7 items in your circles there. Okay, because 3 plus 2 plus 2 equals 7. Okay, you know also that 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. And you know that 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, one way that you can write that. Okay, put 3 plus 2 is 5. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, if that makes it easier for you. Okay, another way you can do it. Okay. You see, 2 plus 2 is 4, that's a double, and 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways that you can look at that. Whichever way makes more sense to you, makes it easier for you, that is fine. Okay, you got to figure out what works for you. All right, so let's do B. Okay, so wipe off the whatever you're counting from your circles there. All right, so we're going to do B. So you need 1. So the first number is 1. So put 1 of whatever you're counting here. Okay, then we need 8. 8 here. And then you need 2 right here. Because you have 1 plus 8 plus 2. All right, so that's going to take us over 10. So if you only had 10, you might be panicking right now, worrying that you don't have enough. Okay? No. All right, so you know that 8 plus 2 is what? 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay? And 1 more than 10 is 11. Okay? So unless you had 10, like I told you to. If you had 11, you would have 1, 8, and 2. But if you only had 10, then you got over here and you were like, oh no, I don't have enough. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't go get more. Just know that it would have been there. All right, so to add the 3 numbers together, you can add 2 of the numbers. You can count the number of pennies or whatever in the 3 circles. Okay, just like we used to do in 2 circles, or we usually do. You're not forever going to do 3. All right, so usually we do 2 groups of cubes. This would be 3. Okay, same idea. Don't be intimidated by it. All right, C is 2 plus 5 plus 3. So you can put 2 in this one, 5, or 3. Or and 3, sorry, not or. Okay? Okay, and look at them, count them, see what you got. All right? See what you came up with, what you come up with. Okay, you should have had 10. All right? So, but what if we don't have pennies to count when we're doing that, right? Well, you can say, what is 2 plus 5? 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay? And then 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay? Let's see, I did that there. 2 plus 5 is 7. And 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay? All right, so you should have gotten 10 for that one. All right, so then why are these written this way from left to right? And then these ones up and down. What do you think that's all about? Okay? It's just the 2 ways that you can write the math problems. Okay? So whether they're sideways or straight up and down, you're still saying this number plus this number plus this number. This number plus this number plus this number. Okay? So you can do the same thing on this side. Okay? Now this one, the numbers are too big. Unless you just went and got a whole bunch of whatever you're counting, you would need 1, 8, and 9. Okay? That's going to be a lot. All right? So if you don't already see, this should look sort of familiar. Okay? What is 8 plus 1? You should have said 9. Okay? 8 plus 1 is just like counting. Okay? What's the number that comes after 8? 9. Okay? Because when you're counting, you say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right? So 8 plus 1 is 9. All right? So now we have 9 plus 9. That's a double. 9 plus 9 is 18. Really keen. All right? So 18. Or what is 9 plus 1? Okay, remember we learned a lot about that 9 plus 1 is 10. So anything that you're doing where there's a 9, you can think about it like a 10. So then that would be 10 plus 8, which you know would be 18. Okay, so whichever way that works for you, whichever way it makes sense, you run with that. All right, this one, you might have enough of your little things to count. So this one would be 3. This one would be 6. And this one would be 4. If you don't have enough things to count, don't worry about it. We're going to break it down the other way too. All right, so if you have 3, 6, and 4, you can put them in there and then count. All right, so now we're going to look at it. If you're counting pennies or pieces of paper or toys or whatever, okay, you should have gotten the number 13. Okay, so now we're going to look at how would you come to the number 13. All right, so if I'm looking at this, all right, I'm going to first look for, is there anything I can do to create a double? Okay, I don't see anything where I can create a double because there's not anything that works out. Okay, because 6 would be 3 plus 3, 4 would be 2 plus 2, Okay, none of it's working really. All right, so next I know that I can look for the sums of 10, okay, because I know those. Those are stuck in my head. All right, so I'm going to look for, are there any sums of 10 here? I see one. It is 6 plus 4. All right, so hopefully you saw that too. So 6 plus 4 equals 10. All right, and anytime we add a single digit number to 10, remember you're just going to replace that 0 because 3 plus 0 is 3, right? So 10 plus 3 is 13. All right, so you should have gotten 13 there. Now, there are other ways that you could work that. Of course, you could add the 3 and the 4 together. It's not going to help you as much. The 3 and the 6 you could add together and you come up with 9. 9 plus 4, which, if you remember your double 3 plus 10, you would know that that's 13. Okay, so whichever way that clicks for you. All right, so the last one, F, you have 5 plus 2 plus 4. Okay, so if you have enough, 5, 2, and 4. All right, so you look at those. If you're counting pennies or something, look at those for a minute, see how many there are. Okay. All right, you should have gotten 11. All right, so if you didn't have something to count, that's all right, because we're going to break it down the other way too. Okay, so 5 plus 2 plus 4. All right, so first I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say, are there any doubles? Anything that I can do there? Okay, I've got 5, 2, and 4. I don't really see any way that I can break that down. Now I'm going to look, I'm going to say, do I have any sums of 10? Okay, so 2 plus 4 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 plus 4 is 9. So I'm not seeing too much, but 5 plus 4 is 9. We can do something with that, right? Okay, so 5 plus 4 is 9. So we have 9 plus 2 then. Okay, I wrote it this way since the 5 and the 4 aren't next to each other. Okay, so the 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, so then you bring your 2 over. So 9 plus 2. Well, if you remember when we did our sums of 9, okay, our sums with 9. All right, so we know that 9 is 1 less than 10. Okay, right? And you know that 10 plus 2 would be 12 because you would just move that 2 into the space where the 0 is, right? Okay, so if 10 plus 2 is 12, then 9 plus 2 is 1 less than 12. So it's 11. Okay? All right. All right. So there are other ways that you can come to that answer. Like I said, 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay? So if you add the 2 and the 4, okay, you get 6. So we're going to bring the 5 over. I'll show you in one second. Okay? All right. So we've got, I'm going to grab the 2 and the 4. Okay, so 2 plus 4 is 6. All right, then what was left was the 5. So 6 plus 5. All right, so 6 plus 5. If you remember, 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 is 1 more than 5. So what's 1 more than 10? 11. Okay, all right, so you can play around counting objects in those circles some more if that was not super, super easy, if it didn't click right away. But adding 3-digit problems, not that different from 2. You just have to stop and look at it, kind of like when we do our word problems. Before you start running and trying to answer it, you want to stop and make sure that you know what they're asking you to do. Make sure that you understand what your goals are. Okay? All right. Well, I hope that helped you guys. And I hope you guys are doing good. I'll see you soon.